Hi, what's up you guys? My name is Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, also known as the Chatty Pen Pal channel, and today I'm here with a super fun little pen pal tutorial. Now, I call myself the Chatty Pen Pal channel for a reason, and I was kind of feeling face-to-face time today. If you're not really feeling face-to-face time today, or if you're just here for the pen pal tutorial, you can always skip. I will divide this video into chapters so that you can go straight to the tutorial or straight to the decorating if that is what you like. Okay, so if you're still here for the face-to-face time, hello. Let me start by asking you how you are. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Personally, I am healthy and I live in a house where I have my own craft room and my family is healthy and I have all the reasons to be doing okay, but it's just lockdown blues, you know. During this lockdown I've been going up and down and up and down, and I just had an up where I was feeling really good and where I had my birthday and the live stream and all that stuff for Patreon, and I filmed a lot of videos, and now I'm in a down where I haven't filmed, or I have started filming things but I haven't finished anything. Even though I have a lot of time, nothing is happening, and that is something that I have been experiencing a lot in these lockdowns, and it's just gotten me quite down. So I used to film more than I uploaded, so I always had a little stash of videos, and I've actually finished nearly all of them. I just have like 2 videos left that are summer themed, so I'm saving them for summer. So when I know that I have to upload now, I have to film something, and that's kind of a lot of pressure, and I realized that that's not doing me a whole lot of good. So I figured I would just sit here with some of my favorite supplies and focus on what I love making. Usually when I make videos on YouTube, it is what I love making. Sometimes I will adapt to what I think people want to see, but 9 out of 10 times I will just create a project simply because I want to create it. And one of my go-tos, especially when I am not feeling creative, is little projects. I have to admit that most of the meals I make are little projects. Like my pen pals will often receive a tiny project, or even PO Books meal replies are also like smaller projects. I love doing 8-page flip books, but especially when I'm not feeling this creative, that just isn't happening. So I figured I would focus on something small. And since I haven't been in like a video making kind of mind, I figured I would follow someone else's tutorial and of course give it my own spin and do all the decorating with you guys. But today we're actually going to follow a tutorial from a good friend of mine, Beck, from Hello, My Name is Beck. You may know her here on YouTube or on Instagram. She makes really, really pretty things, and she did a tutorial a while back that a lot of people have recreated, and I figured I would give it my own spin. The only big difference is that mine is mini. So she did a tutorial where she used a 12x12 paper, which is very big. But the other day we were emptying my grandma's house, and my mom had thrown away all of these books. And I promised myself I wasn't going to dig through the books that she threw out, but I ended up doing it anyway. And I found this book, which is a plant book. It doesn't have images, or it has illustrations, but they're like not colored in, or they're not super pretty. But the cool thing about this book is, can you see that? The letters and everything are green. So it's not black and white, it's actually green, and then the pages are quite old, so it's kind of yellowed. I thought that was so cool. I've never seen a book that has green that has green ink, so I figured I would use those pages for a project. But the maximum width from this is 6 inches, so I figured I would use Beck's tutorial and adapt it from 12x12 paper to 6x6. So mine actually turned out very small, but I think it's still very cute. And with these pages, I thought it would be kind of cool to use my new the Note and Wish stationery subscription thing that I got, because it has a lot of greens in it, and I thought that would work well together. So my original idea was to guide you to back for the tutorial and then just have this be a pen pal with me type video. But because my measurements are so different, I actually worked out new measurements and I decided to do a tutorial simply because it would be kind of confusing if I told you measurements, if I told you half of the tutorial and then you had to go to back for the other half of the tutorial. Not great. But I did want to say, of course, that I got this idea from Beck. I'm pretty sure that she actually figured out the measurements and everything. She basically created this whole idea herself, so credit where credit is due. Ladies from across the street have figured out that I am filming. I'm just quietly going to disappear into the background here. So credit where credit is due. I am very thankful to Beck for doing this tutorial and I really hope that you will enjoy my version as well. I'm now going to turn the camera down and I will do the rest of this tutorial without the ladies across the street watching me. Okay, I wanted to do a simple, easy project for me to film, and this is my 4th take because this is my example. I made 3 mistakes already. How does one do this? And I promise you, this project is actually really simple. My head isn't screwed on right today or something. I don't know. I just keep making mistakes. So let me grab this green tea. This was in the Note and Wish stationery box. If you haven't watched my unboxing yet, I will link it down below. This and the other video are not sponsored. I purchased that with my own money. And I'm not affiliated with Note and Wish in any way. I just thought this is the perfect opportunity for me to use the goodies that we received. When I started filming this, my tea was too hot for the tea bag, and it's now cooled down so much. It should be just fine. Okay, so 4th time's the charm, I suppose. You need a page of 6 by 6. So I'm just going to grab, where's my craft knife? For the 4th time today I lose my craft knife. I'm just going to trim a page to size. Of course, I have now damaged the page so that it is not the right size anymore, but I'm just going to make it work because if I mess this up one more time, I'm going insane. I like the top. I'm going to keep the top. So step 1, page of 6 by 6. Step 2, place the page facing you as if you were reading it, or if you're using a print, it's the right way up. Then on the right, I've practiced this so many times, on the right you're going to score 1 1/8 of an inch, or fold, or measure, it doesn't matter. And you're going to do the same on the left, so that would be score it at 4 7/8 of an inch. Fold, fold. Then we're going to turn it to the left. So the top is on the left, the bottom is on the right. If I make any more mistakes, I swear. And then we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. Score or fold or measure, doesn't matter. 3/4 of an inch. 1 7/8 of an inch. Whoa, okay. 1 7/8 and ooh, keep it in place, and at 4 inches. We are actually going to place it upside down now. So the print is upside down and we're just going to fold it quickly to make sure that we have all of the folds nice and crisp. Then we are going to cut off squares that we do not need. Let me show you my little example. So in the end, it looks like this. So we are going to cut off these 2 squares. This is 2 squares and we're cutting them off, and this is 1 large square. We're going to cut off the whole thing, and then of course the same on the other side. So cut off large, keep 1 large, cut, 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 keep, cut. It's easier if I show you. And don't be afraid to cut off too much, because when you start folding, you will see that the pages start overlapping if you do not cut them generously. So generous cut, and sometimes I like to correct it afterwards. That's easier. So when you start folding it, you will notice, oh, there's still some overlap, or you've done it correctly. Same on the other side. I've just flipped it upside down. Don't be alarmed, for easier cutting. And on the other side as well. This time I'm working a little bit sloppily. I'm sorry, because this is the 4th time doing it, and I am I just want to get to the decorating and the finishing part. So you're going to place it upside down again. So print is upside down. Next thing we are going to do is we're going to fold the little side flaps into a triangle. And what you're going to do is you have that middle line here, the fold line. You're going to have the triangle meet the fold line in the middle. Only just. So you have the fold line, and then the triangle comes up to meet it. And you don't want to fold it too far in, because otherwise when you do this, you cannot flip it anymore. So only just meet the fold line. Same on the other side. Oh, you can see here, I've not cut this nice and straight. So you can always correct it. Only just meeting the middle. I'm messing that up. This paper is so fragile. I cannot do too sharp fold lines, because then I tear the paper. So then we have this. Looking good so far. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open it back up, and we're going to fold the little flap to the back and the big flap down. So then what happens, so this one goes, because then what happens is you get a tiny tuck spot there. It's tiny, but that is only because I made it 6 by 6. But that would be perfect for some stamps or something small. And then when you fold it in, you start to see the base. It's a little bit difficult to see because I'm of course using the text pages. Then what we're going to do is we are going to look at this big flap. I have flipped it upside down. Don't be alarmed. So the top is actually at the bottom now. We're going to measure how wide that is. That is a little bit difficult to see. Okay, so basically what you need to do is you're going to find the middle ground. Normally I would measure it, but it's a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to carefully fold that for a second and just pinch it. So pinch it at the top, pinch, or use a pencil or whatever you want to do so that you can see where the middle is. And then we're going to do the same as we did with these. You're going to make triangles and have them meet in the middle, so that you create a pointy flap. Make triangles meet in the middle. If they do not, like mine, this one, hello, as you can see, they don't meet perfectly, but that's fine because you're not actually going to see this anymore. Then we turn it back around. You have your tiny tuck spot, the side flap, another side flap, and then we're going to fold this up. And then you will see where the pointy thing meets the side flaps, where the point flap meets the side flaps. That's where you want to mark it carefully. And then that is where you want to fold this around. It will make sense in a second. So I'm just going to, you can also eyeball this, of course. Just going to fold that around. And then as you can see, this basically is the finished project. It's a little bit difficult to see, but once we've glued it, wait, let me grab a contrasting color. Once you've glued it, this is a big pocket. And this is a tiny tuck spot. Really tiny. I could fit the card in here, actually. I could fit the card in there. So we have two spaces for goodies down there and up here. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to glue it. You're going to glue. I'm just going to put some glue so it stays in place. Sorry, back. I hope I'm not messing that up. Just so that it stays in place, and then we're gluing this tiny flap down. That's lovely. that dry, and then we are going over to decorating and filling. I'm going to do that with a voiceover. Last thing is, you will notice that I have not glued this tiny tuck spot down, but in my opinion you don't have to, because it's kind of like stuck behind this anyway. But of course, if you want to make it extra, I really don't think you have to, but if you want to make it extra sturdy, then you can put like a tiny bit of glue in here so that this is open but the mini pocket stays in place. Look how spacious that is, by the way. I love that. So I'm going to have to think about what kind of, I have to admit I've already thought about this, what kind of mini goodies I could put in here. I was thinking either little stamps or mini wax seal stamps. So let's go over to the voiceover. Okay, so this is just me showing you the wax seal supplies I end up, or I'm going to be using for the wax seals that I'm making as gifts. I made these off camera, but if you like wax sealing videos, I have a ton of those up on my channel. And sneak peek, good news, there's a special one coming to my channel on Sunday. So if you're not subscribed yet and you would like to see that, obviously do subscribe. And this is me showing you that I ended up making 3 more pockets, and I'm going to decorate 2 of them on camera. I'm going to start by trying to make a, how would I call this, a card, I guess, or just a piece of paper to stick the wax seals I made on top of. I wanted it to just fit inside the pocket because the tuck spot on the top is so small. I figured if I would put the wax seals in there loose, they would fall out. Obviously, if you choose some thicker goodies, maybe they will stay in, but I think this is a really fun way of including goodies, and one of my favorite things, using goodies for decorations, because they're actually going to like obviously peek out of the tuck spot a bit, and you can still see them, and I think that adds to the overall look. Adding goodies as decoration, and of course as goodies, is kind of in line with this month's Patreon challenge. My patrons and I do a challenge every month, and this month the challenge is to make reusable mail. So that doesn't have to be a full flip book that can be reused, but it could also be smaller parts of mail, and I think using goodies as decoration is a perfect example of that. And it's also good for me because I sometimes find it difficult to use my prettiest supplies, and when I know that my pen pal can reuse it, it just makes it a little bit easier. This was me showing you some more. Actually, I just took some pages from books at my grandma's house because it was a road map book, and I don't need road maps, but I did like these pages because obviously they have tiny little botanical drawings and tiny butterfly drawings, and I thought that would be nice, so I ended up taking these with me. What I'm doing now is I'm using a wax seal and part of a sticky note from that Note and Wish box mentioned before to start decorating. Now, I have to admit, I've said this in the unboxing as well, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with sticky notes because they can be really, really cute, but the sticky part always disappoints. So what you can see me do here is still use the sticky note, but obviously just cut off the sticky part. And those stickers, yeah, I don't think I have to explain it, but basically the stickers and the washi and everything is from Note and Wish as well. I combined it with my own supplies, but I found most of what I needed in the box. The little wax seal was made off camera, of course. I think the little wax seal is perfect for decorating these pockets because it's so tiny. It kind of shows how tiny the pocket is, if that makes sense. These kind of things just make me happy. I also quickly want to say, I know for some people it may sound weird that I'm like tearing into and cutting into books that used to belong to my grandma. For those of you that don't know, she passed away last summer. I miss her very much. But like I said, these books were in the paper bin. and they were going to be thrown away, and I kind of rescued them. That's definitely how it feels. And for me, this is just a really great way of kind of thinking about her and processing and feeling close to her almost while working with things that used to belong to her. I can also say that the book I tore pages from, the one with the green text, was barely used. You could see the spine wasn't cracked at all, so I definitely don't think this was a book that my grandma had any emotional connection to. I do have more books of her that were used, or that I used to see as a kid in the living room all the time, and I am not cutting into them, of course. So, just wanted to clarify that. I don't feel like I have to explain, because this is my way of dealing, of coping, of processing, but I did want to explain because I know some people feel very strongly about cutting into vintage books, but I definitely think that cutting into them is way better than them being recycled and thrown away. So as you can see, I struggled with this pocket the beginning so much, but then once I was decorating, it went so super fast. It may just be, I'm sorry I was out of frame this time, but it may be because the box has all matching goodies, so everything is kind of meant to go together. But even when things are meant to go together, like when you have a paper collection with matching stickers and stuff like that, I still struggle. But this time I felt like I was on a roll, probably also because I had been struggling with that pocket for so long. I was so ready for the decorating, and I had been thinking about it for all this time. I do want to say one more time, like I said at the beginning of this video, that Beck's tutorial is not difficult. The fact that I messed this up so much just shows the headspace I was in when I was filming all of this, but it's definitely an easy to follow tutorial, and I'm very thankful to you, Beck, if you're watching this. I also once again want to say I'm sorry I keep going out of frame, and with out of frame, for those of you that don't know, I mean that I'm crafting but the camera is pointed wrong, so I'm crafting not on the screen. I know that the little sneak peeks go quite fast, but as always I have an up close video of the finished project at the end of this tutorial. I know that it's annoying to watch a video that keeps going out of frame, but for me it's actually quite positive. It means something very positive. It means that I am so focused on my crafting, I'm so enjoying my crafting that I don't worry about the camera as much. I kind of forget that I'm filming, and that, to be honest, even though it's annoying to watch, is for me very, very positive, because there are also days where I'm so focused, like I keep thinking, oh, I have to make this right, this has to be good, people have to like what I'm doing, and yeah, obviously this is a much better headspace to be in. I filmed this back in February and I'm uploading it now because the projects have been received by their new owners, which is always fun to see. Both of the receivers actually sent me a message on Instagram saying, Vivian, your mail arrived, and that always makes me super happy. But I have to admit, I'm once again in a little bit of a negative headspace because it's so silly. I've been saying for weeks and months and absolute months that we can't work and I want to go back to work, and then yesterday evening there was a press conference that announced that we will be going back to work. The restaurants are opening again next week, so 1 week from today I will be going back to work, and it absolutely terrifies me. I want to be excited, and probably when I'm there I will be, but I am so anxious. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't think straight, and as much as I wish I could turn that off, like, okay, I am in a positive headspace, I simply know I can't. But I also know that this will take a couple days, and then hopefully I will have gotten kind of used to the idea. I will be back at work earlier because we are, of course, I need to see what has changed, and we'll be discussing a couple things, so I'm going to be there before, and I hope that will help me get in the positive headspace again. So I did want to let you know that, not for a sympathy card or anything like that. I do want to let you know that that may mean, or it's probably going to mean, that I will take a break from YouTube, or I will maybe upload 1 video a week instead of 2, or I don't know yet what I'm going to do, but I need to allow myself time to process this because it's going to be a lot. I love my job, I work as a waitress, but change for me and my anxiety is a big thing. So I will, I will respond accordingly. That also means that I might have less time for PO Box mail. So if you're thinking of sending me mail, it might be wise, or I would like to ask you to wait a little bit. Just give me a while to get back into my daily routine. But I will keep you up to date. If you don't follow me yet on Instagram, definitely do so, because I always share kind of updates there, and I will let you know when I'm uploading new videos. Now, in the background, I'm obviously going to include a ton of goodies, because although the pockets are small, you can actually put quite a lot in there. I have all sorts of labels and they don't fit exactly in there, so I'm just going to trim them down, or I trim some of them down so that they do fit. I did that before. I just cut off the excess paper because I also like it better that way. Then I have little vellum pages from that collage paper pad I got from Your Creative Studio books, and of course little stamps, because these projects are perfect for including little stamps. And I'm also including washi tape samples and some washi tape stickers. But there's tons. Oh, and I would almost forget, but of course I included some of those little botanical images that I cut out before. But there are so many things you could include in here. I actually quite like that. I love making simple little projects like these. Like I said at the beginning, they are kind of my go-to because it helps you, it kind of shows your pen pal, hey, I made something creative for you and I stuffed it with goodies and I picked out things I know you will like, but you don't have to worry too much about making it super big. And biggest bonus of this all, it's super lightweight, so you can actually send it, or I can send it with 1 stamp, and 1 stamp for me is up to 20 grams. So I had an envelope, this pocket stuffed with goodies, and my letter for 1 stamp, and that is to me feels like kind of a win. So I hope this gave you some ideas, or at least I hope it gave you lots of ideas. I once again want to thank Beck for this amazing tutorial. I will link her channel down below. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. I have all of the socials linked down below. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Don't worry too much about me. I will, I'll manage. I just have to get used to this change. Change is my enemy. And I will of course keep you up to date. And I hope you're all doing amazing. Take some time for self-care. Oh, before I forget, I always forget to mention this, but I will link the supplies I've used down below. The majority is from that vintage book and from the Note and Wish box, but for example the Nuvo drops I can definitely link. Talk soon, bye bye!